Hey y'all, I'm Aeon.
And I'm the Lioness.
And you're listening to Box number 512 podcast.
Grown Black Trans Woman Talk. Changing your world one conversation at a time.
The show begins now. Welcome to a very special installment of Box number 512 podcast, Grown Black Trans Woman Talk. I am your co-host, Aeon.
And I'm the Lioness.
So this is a very special edition episode that you all will be getting this week. When this comes out, it'll be out on Monday morning. If you have not heard or you just been under a rock, the community is in an uproar because J.A.N.E.T gave a speech, or she spoke at the premiere party for the season 3 premiere of Pose, and she said some choice words, and it sent rumblings not only through the trans community but through the entertainment community. And of course, with us being a platform to kind of amplify Black trans women voices and having our finger on the pulse of what's going on in the community, a lot of people have been reaching out to us collectively, individually, asking what we think about this particular issue. So we are just going to take some time out and create a space to really unpack this J.A.N.E.T mock situation and what she said and all of that. So we will start here. I'm going to start by reading some lines. So when I first heard about the story, I saw somebody shared an article, a page 6 article about J.A.N.E.T giving her speech at the Pose premiere party. And I'm just gonna read a couple of lines from the article. It says, J.A.N.E.T mocked an executive producer and director on the FX drama Pose left co-stars, network bosses, and reporters stunned at the show's premiere party Thursday nights by ad-libbing a wide-ranging and flabbergastingly fiery speech. During the 15-minute speech, she complained about how much the network is paying her, demanded better treatment for the trans community, shouted F Hollywood, revealed that she slept with someone in the show's crew, asked her Pose actor boyfriend not to leave her over the infidelity, decried the quality of the writing on the show, and had a brief conversation with co-creator and Hollywood mogul Ryan Murphy from the stage. Early in her talk, Mach 38 wondered aloud, why am I making $40,000 an episode? Huh? I'm angry, she said, demanding more money and perks equal to other TV executives. The room at the Jazz at Lincoln Center fell completely silent as Mock shouted, F Hollywood, does this make you uncomfortable? It should. It should make you effing shake in your mother effing boots. This is speaking truth. This is what Pose is. Mock next complained about the quality of material from male writers on the show's first 2 episodes, then addressed Murphy saying that you brought girls in to help you. Who brought in the girls? She asked him. I did. And Murphy replied, I wanted the girls to be there. But the speech took an even more personal turn when Mock demanded that boyfriend Angel Bismarck Curiel, aka Lil Poppy, stand up right now. Bismarck Curiel nervously stood up, and Mock said to the crowd, let me tell you something about love. Today I was going to let Angel go, she said. I was going to let you go, right? But what did I do? I F someone on the crew, right? At that revelation, one of the show's guest stars could be heard gasping and asked, what the hell is happening? Angel, I'm not losing you. You hear me? You are effing important to me, Mock continued. I don't want to live in a house alone. I want you mother effer, right there. That's who I want. I'm getting what's mine. Mock then apologized to composer R. Lady J, a producer and writer on Pose, and she said she tried to diminish her to make myself bigger. I effed up, y'all. I forgot who the F I was. They want me to come up here and pretend, she said. I don't need Hollywood, honey. You know why? Because I'm effing free. And then she had some comments for the other trans woman on the show. It's a show, but it means so much to everyone to ensure that we enable Black and brown trans women to make it because that sounds good, she said sarcastically. It makes you comfortable to talk like that because then I don't scare you into facing the effing truth. You all have stomped on us. And I'm just going to leave it there because that's pretty much all of the article. And as you can imagine, when this news was released through various entertainment publications and mediums and on Black Twitter, it was, everything was a shit show. Everything was in an uproar. And but I'm gonna turn it over to my sis because I know my sis has some strong opinions on this. I think our perception, our angle that we're going to take with our particular platform is yes, Black trans women are consistently underpaid and undervalued across all industries. Anything that we do, we're coming in making less. This is not anything new. This is not anything groundbreaking. We know that. And I'm for Black trans women. Y'all know I'm for Black trans women getting what they deserve and more. I don't have an issue with that. My particular issue with this whole situation, and not even with J.A.N.E.T, but certain gatekeepers in the Black trans community or in the Black trans sphere, or the girls with the blue checks, I'm kind of uncomfortable with this blanket. We need to wrap our arms around her, or we need to lift her up, and we're only going to lift up the equal pay stuff that she brought up, but we're not going to address anything else. We're gonna act like we didn't hear that. I have a problem with that. I'm just not going to do that. I think that every fact is relevant. Every fact matters. She is a public figure. She put her business out there. Therefore, we're going to dissect it. It wasn't like nobody forced her to volunteer all of this extra information. She did this herself. Now, if sis is having like a mental health breakdown, as somebody that has my own mental health journey and struggles, I'm very sensitive to that. But in my personal opinion, I don't think this is the rallying cry where we need to rally up all of the girls and make a statement, especially for someone who really doesn't, she's not really from my, and let me say this, I've never personally met J.A.N.E.T. I don't know her, but I'm just going off of what I observe, how she moves in community, and an intimate relationship with girlfriends and sisters who do know her or who have had experiences with her. I don't. This whole we need to just declare our love and rush everything to uplift her in this moment. That's not really reciprocated from her. So, sis, I'm gonna let you come in. I feel like you have some things you need to say. So, come on, sis.
This is where I feel. Before I go any further into addressing specifically the facts of this situation,
right?
I want to be very specific and say, here at Box Number 512 Podcast, we are Black grown trans woman talk. What we aspire to do on this show is to center the conversation not just on the things and issues that matter to us, but on things that are relevant to us, things that affect the community. I think that I want to first put out there, if Janet Mock is having a mental episode, then that is something that when that information comes out, we will address then.
Right.
We will only address on this podcast the evidence and the facts that have been presented to us from her own mouth regarding what her behavior looks like. And until we get more clarity, we're operating on that information. I say that because I want to address the people out there that are operating on assumptions. So one, it is an assumption that J.A.N.E.T Mock is having a mental episode. Regardless of how crazy it looks to us, she might just be having a real vulnerable moment where she's being finally her real self. We don't know that. And I don't like the idea that when someone does something that is not typical to their normal behavior, that we automatically, without us being medical professionals, label them mentally disabled, and then that now makes it to where we can't critique them. Okay, She's not been identified, nor has she come out publicly and said that episode was a result of a mental episode. Therefore, we are not defending. We are not attacking someone that might be having a mental health episode. We're rather calling out a leader who has demonstrated behavior that not only is questionable, could be actionable. And we'll talk about those parts later. For right now, what I will say is from what we just read in the article that Brianna read to us, from what we just heard, there is no denying that this is someone that, in my opinion, has had a power that has been gone unchecked and that is being abused. This is someone that is also perhaps frustrated. This is also someone that is also perhaps disgruntled. This is also one that may even have valid reasons for being angry. And I can unpack both parts of the argument and still be fair. So here's the part that I'm saying. Yes, we don't get paid enough in Hollywood. Yes. The girls are not getting paid enough. Yes, the writing probably had room to be desired before she brought the girls in. What I don't like about what Janet did and what she's doing in this moment is using her position in movement to hide her misdeeds behind. So in this moment, we can have a pay conversation, and that is important to have a pay conversation. We can have a discrimination conversation about trans women and how we're often discriminated in the workplace. But this is a trans woman that was given a leadership position. This is a trans woman who, according to a lot of the women defending her, has had to live a standard and has had to uphold a standard.
Nobody asked her to do that.
No one asked her to come out and take up space in the movement that was already going before she came out. No one asked her to hide behind the elders of this movement and then come out later with her narrative, only to then now, like, we're supposed to not be able to critique her because she is decided to make herself the face of something. That is on her. No one asked Janet Mock to take up that much space and not ask other trans women to share with her. She decided to make that fiefdom on her own, so we will take her down alone. Because there's no other trans woman that is responsible for what she did, which is she was an executive producer on this show. She has used her role in authority in position in this show to not only date a subordinate, but then demanded that subordinate stand up. When she demanded him to stand, was she demanding him to stand as a boss? Was she demanding him to stand as a lover? The lines are blurred. We don't know. But she demanded that Ariel stand in front of all those people. And then she commenced to tell him, I was going to let you go. Well, we don't know what she meant by that. Did she mean she was going to fire him as a cast member because he is at his job at a work function? And she made him stand up as a boss or as a lover. What was that? So now we don't know whether or not he was going to be fired. When you said I was going to let you go as a partner or let you go as a business person, as a colleague. These are questions that are relevant. And and then taking it the step further, then when she said I fucked another crew member, okay, sis, this is the second employee now. I'm hearing that you
This is a pattern.
This is starting to be a pattern of behavior. It sounds like you're using your position in leadership to take advantage of people who do not have the same level of equity in the situation. That is the entire reason why the Me Too movement in Hollywood was important. And if I remember, Janet, you were a voice in the Me Too movement. I remember what you said about your interview with Morgan Freeman and how he made you feel uncomfortable. And you felt no problem using that to chime your way into the voices of the Me Too movement. So now we're here, sis, full circle moment. You fucked two employees.
And let me come in real quick. We're not saying, oh, because she is 38 and he's 25. No. If you want to go run with your young piece, go do that. What we're saying is it's the relationship dynamic. It's the
do
work
not
dynamic.
Fuck people when you are the executive producer over a show that they have to get a check from to survive. So then if you look at the power distance between an executive producer and a cast member, that is the reason why in Harvey Weinstein, right, was who he was. Not in that situation, he was using coercion, but it's still the same power dynamic.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Box Number 512 Podcast, Grown Black Trans Woman Talk.
And don't forget to become a patron on the Box Number 512 Patreon page, where we have all new exclusive content.
And also, don't forget to follow us on our social media, on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages. And also, become a subscriber on our YouTube page. Until next time, bye.